My name is Sophie Sutrich. I'm from Germany, born and raised, but I'm also half Austrian, where I then did my studies. I work for the International Federation of Red-Cross and Red-Crescent Societies, the IFRC, for its secretariat in Geneva. And within the secretariat, I work for the Principles and Values department as the senior assistant. My academic background is international development, which I studied in the University of Vienna. But I also specialized on international law, public international law, and in the framework of the European Erasmus exchange program, I came to Geneva University and for a certificate in transnational law. And don't know if it's not academic, but part of my education also is, I would say, lots and lots of internships, which nowadays is, I guess, part of starting a career in this sector. So I've done many already when I was in high school and during university in different organizations, political parties, and a think tank. And I also had the luxury or the pleasure to pick up a few languages on the side, which helps me now. In my job, I first and foremost support the Principles and Values department, and in particular the head of department. This consists of many different day-to-day tasks, and to name a few, I would say reporting is one of them, drafting reports, internal reports, and also external, sometimes including donors. There is a big element of researching on the different topics that make up our department, for example, non-discrimination, gender, our fundamental principles and values, of course, and then producing communication materials in this regard. Sometimes there's also an element of organizing events that are related, and day-to-day business, following up on emails and so on. And in addition, actually, I had the great fortune, I would say, to be part of a project called YABC. It's the Youth as Agents of Behavioral Change program, where we try to train youth in their different national Red Cross and Red Crescent societies to take on an ethical leadership role in their communities. I chose to work in the humanitarian sector because I wanted to, even if it's just a little bit, contribute to helping other people, to creating a world that is more close to the world we want to see, a more peaceful world. And that being said, I'm still very humble in my ambitions, but I think it's a great gift and luxury to work for an organization that has something like this in its mission. In my job, I think you need really a mix of a lot of different skills. Of course, you need some educational background, understanding of international organizations, and also languages help quite a lot. And then in the day-to-day working, I would say it's the famous soft skills that are really super important. Being able to communicate properly in a clear way. Being reliable, that your co-workers know that if they ask you to do something, that it's actually done, or that you follow up, or if that there are problems that you will raise it, and being goal-oriented, that you try to think ahead. You do a task, but you're working towards making an impact as well. I think this is some of the most important skills. Very positive about my job, I think, is the fact that I have to deal with so many people from different countries, different cultures, and that also the topics that we cover in the department are very diverse. I still learn a lot about different humanitarian issues, about the Red-Cross, Red-Crescent response. That's very enriching, I would say. So many aspects are really great in my job. Negative, I don't have a lot of negative things going on currently in my job, nothing to complain about at all. In general, maybe I think if one chooses to work in the international sphere, you have to be aware that moving might be expected, or that you know, to really make the best out of your potential and to contribute to your organization's success, you will have to move a lot, which is great on the one hand, but on the other hand, it poses an additional stress, maybe if in terms of your family, if you have a partner, it's just maybe it can become a bit more complicated. So the most impact on me had the project that I just mentioned, Youth as Agents of Behavioral Change. And I guess it's because we work with young people, so I had the chance to deliver trainings in Madagascar and in Palestine, working with them over a period of 6 or 7 days. And we have a very noble goal, which is promotion of a culture of nonviolence and peace, which sometimes sounds something we cannot attain, or it's very difficult to reach, but at the same time working with youth and seeing that there is, even if it's just a tiny change in them over the few days, it's one of the greatest things you can imagine. Like just seeing after a few days, you know, you can see it in their eyes, thinking that, oh, I've never seen it from this perspective, you know, like this is so great to see, or wow, you know, I do discriminate, even though I thought I was a very tolerant person, but actually there is something. So this kind of key moments is very beautiful to see. The International Geneva, I love it, actually. I love walking around in the streets in Geneva and hearing in half an hour 10 different languages, seeing different skin colors in the bus everywhere, and it's more or less harmonious. While being at the same time not such a huge city, it's not New York City or Paris. It's small Geneva, and it has its still the charm of a smaller sized city, but at the same time it has all the advantages of being an international place. So yeah, great. As a young person interested in working in an international corporation, I would tell them to, of course, focus on your studies, have a degree that is somehow relevant to this work. Do lots of maybe internships, if possible internationally, where you already get experience in different countries, learn languages. And maybe one specific advice, I think it's very helpful to have, on top of this overall knowledge, a specialization, where you have one field where you can really be an added value to your organization, and you come with a specific set of skills in this subject, whatever the subject is. So